Hey everybody, Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday, March the 28th, and wow, March has just blown by like a spring breeze, has it not? Yes, that was a pretty inane simile, but that's what you get here. Thank you all so much for joining me. Okay, first item of business, if you missed the Hugo nomination live show that took place on Nicole's channel Saturday, go and check that out. There's the link, because the archive is now up. Hugo nominations close this coming Thursday is the last day that you can nominate. So be sure, if you are a Worldcon attending or supporting member, I will be attending, then you need to get your nominations in by the 31st. And that's when they're closed. You know, technically, SFF180 is Hugo eligible for Best Fan Cast. I'm just saying. Good week this week. If you liked last week was a pretty exciting week, full of some really exciting releases, and it looks like we are keeping up that momentum this week. I have 12 packages. They all look pretty hefty. At least one of them has multiple items in it. So without wasting any more time, let's get to it. Okay, this first one is a little package from Random Penguin, and it feels like a bunch of paperbacks. Okay, it is. It is a bunch of paperbacks in my bad Tweety Bird voice. All right, first of these is Charlaine Harris's Day Shift. This is a new book in her Midnight Texas series. I think it might be the second one or maybe the third one. Anyway, new series from the uber popular Charlaine Harris. Next is Burned, which is the new Alex Virus novel, the new Benedict Jacka novel. And finally, this one's pretty exciting. I really like Mike Cole, and I need to catch up with his Shadow Ops series. This is the second novel that follows the initial Shadow Ops trilogy. This is set in a world in which some human beings, through a strange kind of dimensional thing that happened with an alternate universe, an alternate world, developed superpowers, X-Men-like superpowers. But there were superpowers that became legal and sanctioned, and then there were others that became illegal. And they would hunt you down if you had those powers because you were a danger to humanity itself. And it became this sort of military fantasy. Very exciting initial series, and I want to get caught up on these. So Javelin Rain is the newest. If you like action, the Mike Cole has got it in spades. So Javelin Rain is finally available from Ace. Okay, moving on, I have a package from Macmillan, probably Tor. And this is the finished copy in hardcover of Jennifer Fallon's The Liar Thief, which is already out. Came out on the 8th. Okay. The first book in the War of the Gods trilogy. Jennifer Fallon returns to the world of the best-selling Hythran Chronicles. For this tale of switched identities, world-changing schemes, deals with death, star-crossed lovers, and meddlesome gods. I read the very first of hers in that series, called Medallon, I think. Few years back. I actually really liked it. It's pretty good. But I never, got around to the rest of them, so maybe I ought to. If you are a fan of Jennifer Fallon's earlier novels, then you will be pleased to know that The Liar Thief is now available from Tor in hardcover. Ooh, saw something about this recently on Twitter. Looked really cool and exciting, and voila, I'm happy to have it. This is the arc for a book coming out this summer, July the 12th, called The Devourers. The author is Indra Das. And it says, published to great acclaim by Penguin Books India. The Devourers is a dreamlike debut novel by Indra Das, chronicling a young historian and a persuasive, beguiling stranger coming together in modern-day Calcutta, to transcribe an ancient journal. A collection of paper, parchment, and skins, the journal tells of bloodshed, kidnapping, magic, and shape-shifting, set against the harsh landscapes of the 17th century Mughal Empire. It reveals the story of hunters and prey, lovers and the beloved, and in the end the choice to be transformed or be quarry. On a cool evening in Kolkata, India, beneath a full moon, as the whirling rhythms of traveling musicians fill the night, college professor Alak encounters a mysterious stranger with a bizarre confession and an extraordinary story. Tantalized by the man's unfinished tale, Alak will do anything to hear its completion. So Alak agrees, at the stranger's behest, to transcribe a collection of battered notebooks, weathered parchments, and once living skins. From these documents spills the chronicle of a race of people ruled by instincts and desires blood-deep and ages-old. The tale features a rough wanderer in 17th century Mughal India who finds himself irrevocably drawn to a defiant woman and destined to be torn asunder by two clashing worlds. With every passing chapter of beauty and brutality, Alok's interest in the stranger grows and evolves into something darker and more urgent. Shifting between past and present with intoxicating language, visceral action, and stark emotion, The Devourers offers a unique reading experience. Whoa. Just kind of one of those that makes you stop and go, hmm. Okay, what's next? We have another thin little package from Random Penguin. Okay, this is the arc for a book coming out in June called Mirror in the Sky. The author is Aditi Khorana. And this is a young adult because it's from Razorbill Press. Don't usually get a lot of these titles, so nice to have. Let's see. For Tara Krishnan. Navigating Briarley, the academically rigorous prep school she attends on scholarship, feels overwhelming and impossible. Her junior year begins in the wake of a startling discovery. A message from an alternate Earth light years away is intercepted by NASA. This means that on this mirror planet there is another version of Tara, Tara who could be living better, burning brighter because of tiny differences in her choices. As the world lights up with the knowledge of Terra Nova, the mirror planet, Tara's life on Earth begins to change. At first, small shifts happen, like attention from Nick Osterman, the most popular guy at Briarley, and her mother playing hooky from work to watch the news all day. But eventually those small shifts swell, the discovery of Terra Nova like a black hole, bending all the light around it. Nothing on Earth and for Tara will ever be the same again. All right, I'm going to be honest, this sounds very much like the plot of an independent SF movie that came out a few years ago called Another Earth. But, well, who knows? We'll see what she does with it. But anyway, this is a young adult novel, comes out June the 21st from Razorbill by Aditi Khorana, Mirror in the Sky. Okay, the Random Penguin stuff just keeps coming. This is a penguin-heavy week. You can never have too many penguins. Alrighty then, this might not necessarily be my kind of thing because I don't usually do tie-in novels and I don't play the game, to be honest with you. But this is a World of Warcraft novel called Illidan, or Illidan. Illidan, that's it. The author is William King. This comes out April the 12th, and I imagine they are ramping up for the Warcraft movie. But anyway, so if you're a fan of this sort of thing, April the 12th is the release date. As I said, Illidan's Stormrage is one of the most powerful beings ever to walk the lands of Azeroth. So, Warcraft fans, you got a movie, you got a new book, life is good for you. So, Illidan by William King from Del Rey. Next up, we have this title from Pyre. This is called Masks and Shadows by Stephanie Burgess. Probably got this already as an arc. Pyre usually sends the arc first. This is quite a pretty looking book. This comes out April 12th. And it says the year is 1779 and Carlo Morelli, the most renowned castrato singer in Europe, has been invited as an honored guest to Esterhazy Palace. With Carlo and Prince Nicolaus Esterhazy's carriage, with Carlo in the carriage rides a Prussian spy, there we go, and one of the most notorious alchemists in the Habsburg Empire. Already at Esterhazy is Charlotte von Steinbeck, the very proper sister of Prince Nicolaus's mistress. Charlotte has retreated to the countryside to mourn her husband's death. This all sounds like, TMZ from 200 years ago. Now she must overcome the ingrained rules of her society in order to uncover the dangerous secrets lurking within the palace's golden walls. Music, magic, and blackmail mingle in a plot to assassinate the Habsburg Empire and Empress, a plot that can only be stopped if Carlo and Charlotte can see through the masks worn by everyone they meet. Well, this sounds like it might be just an absolute hoot for people who like this sort of, court intrigue type fantasy, but Stephanie Burgess's Masks and Shadows, in a very lovely edition, comes out from Pyre on April the 12th. Yeah, more Random Penguin. And it is the new trade paperback edition of everybody's favorite book from last year. Ernest Cline's Armada is now out in paperback. Let's see what the date is on this, April 12th. Okay, so the sell sheet for this is like ridiculously thick and massive. Well, what can we say other that you don't already know? Interviews, several pages of interview stuff, New York Times front page, tech turns to sci-fi for a compass, more quotes, tour dates, okay, he's going to be here at Book People on the 12th, so I guess for the book launch. That's a huge, awesome, pretty cool indie bookstore here in town. And then he'll be back on the 23rd of April for another signing here. And then between there, he'll be in LA, Denver, Fort Collins, Santa Fe, Chapel Hill, and Asheville. All right, well, Armada. Available April the 12th in trade paperback. And if I sounded snarky just then, it's because, well, I have not heard from very many people who liked Armada. Okay, this looks like a tour package. Oh, it is, and I'm quite happy to have this, and looks like I've got a full series read to look forward to now. Remember I said that's going to be a lot of my policy this year. This is In the Labyrinth of Drakes. It is the 4th Lady Trent memoir by Marie Brennan, where she is a naturalist going out and observing dragons and creatures of this sort. Let's see, imagine the scene, Charles Darwin, wind at his back as he sails towards adventure and discovery. Only the truly brave can attain, to return one day with knowledge to shape the world. Now replace Charles with the indomitable Lady Isabella Trent and add dragons. And there you go, that's the whole hook for this series. Born into a world burgeoning with new things to discover and new frontiers to explore, Isabella Trent had the misfortune of being cursed with that which no highborn lady should ever admit to, a fierce curiosity. Undeterred by her times, Isabella dared to dream of a life beyond the needlepoint and cradle, and nurtured a fascination with dragons, creatures still largely a mystery to this near-Regency British world. So, okay, Lady Trent fans, In the Labyrinth of Drakes drops from Tor Books on April the 5th. And these are quite beautiful hardcover editions. Like the ink on the pages is actually in sepia. So it's really pretty cool. Moving down the stack, what do we have? All right, this is the arc from Del Rey for the Sorcerer's Daughter, and it's Terry Brooks keeping that Shannara train chugging along. This comes out May 24th, set in the same world as MTV's The Shannara Chronicles. So I guess this is the newest in a long-running series. Sorcerer's Daughter, let's see, anything. The mysterious magic-wielding Druid Order has existed for long ages, battling any evil that threatens the Four Lands and struggling to be understood and accepted by outsiders. But their hopes of building goodwill are dashed when a demon's murderous rampage at a peace summit leaves their political opponents dead, casting new suspicions upon the Druids and forcing them to flee from enemies both mortal and monstrous. Comes out May the 24th. Okay, so this looks like a little indie book from Canada. I think I might recall having an email exchange with whoever sent me this. So I don't often respond to these kinds of requests, but I think I'm going to need my memory refreshed here, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't actually recall responding to this individual, but I may have done. I don't know. But let's see. I guess the book is called Spacelift. It is from Iguana Books in Canada. And it's kind of a nice edition. It says that a child of Mars, Najib is born with a wanderer's heart that eventually leads him to Psyche for work. But he finds factory life on the asteroid intolerable and escapes to Callisto. When the arrivals officer misspells his name, Najib takes the opportunity to reinvent himself. Najib finds love on Callisto, but also stumbles across the planet's seedy underbelly, where he finds a crooked governor and an honorable crook who, when Najib tells him of his dream to get to Earth, advises him that, quote, in order to go east, you should head west. There is no direct route to Earth for an off-worlder with a questionable past, so Najib again reinvents himself and becomes a respected bioarchaeologist, despite the interference of his manipulative boss. A chance meeting with a street philosopher ultimately changes Najib's life and pushes him towards his chosen path. How many times is this guy going to reinvent himself and choose a new path? Along his circuitous trek to Earth, Najib meets several more people who ultimately have a profound effect on him. But his wayward past starts to catch up with him. Will Najib be punished for his deceptions, or will the experience and wisdom he's gathered in his travels lead him in a new direction entirely? Yeah, it sounds like a story about a guy who just can't figure out who he is, and is constantly meeting people who make him change who he thinks he is. Well, anyway, okay, this is a small press effort. The author is Afshin K, I guess from Iguana Books in Canada. Oh, cool. Allow me to dance a little happy dance over this. Okay, that's enough. Let's see, this is the Medusa Chronicles. It is a collaboration between Stephen Baxter and Alistair Reynolds. So very excited by that fact. This comes out from Saga. It says the ebook is on sale May 24th. The hardcover is on sale June the 7th. Okay. In the 2080s, Howard Falcon is left crippled by the crash of the dirigible Queen Elizabeth IV, of which he was captain. His life is saved by experimental cyborg surgery. In the 2090s, Falcon pilots a solo mission in a balloon craft called Kontiki into the clouds of Jupiter, where he encounters an exotic environment complete with an ecology dominated by immense herbivorous beasts he calls Medusae, which are preyed on by mantas. Falcon's cybernetic surgery left him with superhuman capabilities, but isolated from mankind, for there will be no more such experiments. But Falcon took somber pride in his unique loneliness. The first immortal midway between two orders of creation, he would be an ambassador between the creatures of carbon and the creatures of metal, who must one day supersede them. Both would have need of him in the troubled centuries that lay ahead. Hard science guy Stephen Baxter meets new space opera guy Alastair Reynolds, and looks like big Jupiter jellyfish result. I like both these authors. I like Reynolds quite a bit more than Stephen Baxter, who can occasionally be a bit ponderous, but put two good heads together and, maybe goodness will result. We'll find out at the end of May. Last one. This has been a big week. Okay. Well, booyah. This is the very pretty hardcover for a new book from Ace called Arena. The author is Holly Jennings. This comes out, let me find it, because sometimes they hide it. April 5th. Okay, cool. An Ace hardcover from debut author Holly Jennings comes Arena, the first novel in an action-packed near-future series. This exciting coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of a world where virtual competitive gaming has become the most popular form of entertainment, broadcast to millions each week. Okay, like Twitch. It stars Kali Ling, the first female captain in the Virtual Gaming League's Rage tournaments, an elite competition that pits the best gamers against each other in a fight to the death. Okay, that's a little more interesting than Twitch. Although the deaths are fake, the pain they feel is very real. Okay? After the death of one of her teammates brings some of the, a real death of one of her teammates brings some of the VGL's dark secrets to light, Kali will have to bring her team to victory while fighting the VGL from the inside. Okay, Jennings is a lifelong gamer who brings her love of gaming to a story that is both futuristic and nostalgic. Fans of dystopian and action-packed science fiction with a romantic twist. Oh, good grief. Okay, they're comparing it to Divergent and Red Rising, like many others. Well, yeah, you won't want to miss Arena. Okay, keeping an open mind about this, but Holly Jennings' Arena is out April the 5th. Wow, that was an exhausting mailbag, but a pretty awesome one, I think, for the most part, if I do say so. All right, you know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these books looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. Otherwise, I wanted to just say, before I sign off, thank you so much for nearly 2,000 subs. We are like within a whisper of 2,000 subs here at SFF180. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little bit kind of like deer in the headlights at the moment because I'm looking at the scale of organization and tidying up that I have to do around here to get you guys ready for the library tour, which I promised when we hit 2,000, and we're almost there. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you an advance warning because even though 2,000 I'm pretty sure is going to happen this week, it could be another couple of weeks, maybe 2.5, 3 before I'm actually ready to shoot and release the library tour. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to work as hard as I can and as fast as I can to get this done. But yeah, if you're saying to yourself, hold on, are you telling us in all honesty that tidying up and organizing your library is a 2.5 to 3 week effort? Yeah, just contemplate the ramifications of that. Why don't you? Okay, but thank you all so much for being part of the SFF180 family and for getting me to this point. Onwards to 3, 5, 10,000. Let's keep this train going, okay? And library tour as soon as possible, I promise. All right, and until I see all of you awesome, wonderful people next time, happy reading.